I don't know. The possibilities are endless. I guess it almost is like a video game, and it could also work for video games in the future as well too, right? AI generated
Absolutely.
levels, AI generated difficulty. There's just a lot of
Fully
different, fully
fully
customized.
procedurally generated worlds, experiences. I've seen an AI model procedurally generate in real time a CS:GO experience, right? So there was
Wow.
there was no game installed, there was no game engine. This was AI generating frame by frame what it thought a Counter Strike game was like, and obviously it has a whole bunch of content from CS and CS:GO. So it literally looked like you're in D-Dust. You know, it was crazy.
That sounds crazy. I guess like a question I had as well too. I guess like you guys are kind of managing like this massive, I guess, network, right, of GPUs. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work to kind of get it orchestrated all together. But I guess how do you guys keep it all like running smoothly, operating fine, and especially with the growing demands of like what you said with AI generation, video generation, and beyond as well too. That must be like a crazy kind of upkeep, or I should say like crazy thing to kind of maintain, right? From like all the 100 locations you guys have, but you guys make it seem like it's you guys got it locked down.
Yeah, I mean, as things start to get pretty big, they like to break, right? And that's the difficult thing when you're serving enterprise customers, right? Because they don't have a lot of tolerance for infrastructure that's unstable. And that's generally been the major issue facing what we build in the crypto space, right? Crypto tends to be very experimental. We love building on the bleeding edge. We love kind of deploying rapidly and experimentally, and that's what makes crypto so amazing, right? But it's also what makes us a little bit of a risky partner when you're a very stable, cashed up, reputationally focused enterprise business, right? So for us, we can't have infrastructure that's unstable. We can't have infrastructure that goes down. Uh, so we've been ruthlessly focused on ensuring the scalability of our infrastructure alongside the reliability and performance that is needed to kind of meet the requirements of these big tech companies. And to be honest, at the moment, I think we're running a very tight ship. We have an incredible team, right? Our team is very distributed. It's another great thing about crypto. You have, awesome builders from all over the world. We have teams in all across Southeast Asia, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam. We've got team members in Japan and Korea. We've got guys in China, the US, across Europe. We literally have people everywhere. Um, and they're all incredible at their job, and they're helping us maintain this infrastructure. Um, I'll be honest, I think that if you look at crypto projects out there, one of the ways you can kind of judge or assess what they're building is kind of putting them on a spectrum of more decentralized or less decentralized, right? Or more permissionless, less permissionless. And I think at Aether, there are definitely moments where we have chosen to be slightly less decentralized because we knew that even though we want to be as decentralized as we can, even though it aligns with the ethos of the business and what we're building, we know that if we go down that road, we're not going to be able to serve these companies anymore. We're not going to be generating revenue from big contracts because we've traded away our ability to communicate and relate to these big Web2 players. And I think that that's definitely a line that we walk, that we have to kind of maintain balance. Um, Obviously, being a DPIN, it's really important that we are decentralized, but at the same time, we have to be able to serve the big tech companies, or it's all for naught, right? Because at the end of the day, you need an infrastructure that has utility, and has functionality. And ideally, you want to be building something that's better than what everyone's building in the centralized world. And that's what we think we've done here at Aethir. I think also one thing that we're pretty strict on is who we let onboard in to Aether as a compute provider, right? We don't just have an open gate, right? We aren't just saying yes to everyone that brings their GPU to our door, right? We're pretty strict about it. You need to have the right sort of GPU, and effectively that means you need to have a GPU that people want to buy, right? That people want to rent. There's no point in pulling infrastructure into a network that no one wants to use, right? So it obviously has to be a GPU that people want to use. It needs to be in the type of infrastructure that allows customers to access it without restriction. So, for example, I'm sure you can imagine that if you had a GPU that you were trying to contribute to Aethir's network, but it was connected via your home bandwidth, right? Your home broadband. And you were just living your life, right? You might have been watching YouTube or Netflix of an evening, or you're gaming, right? All of a sudden, your bandwidth is now restricted. And maybe a customer out there is having a lower quality experience as a result of trying to connect to your GPU. So, where the GPU is plugged in also really matters, right? And these are two kind of factors. There's a couple of others, but those are the two big ones that we use to kind of determine whether we'll onboard a GPU into our network. And that's kind of, at least initially, the major bar that needs to be overcome to be a GPU provider, and that's what helps us maintain all of the kind of enterprise grade standards across our network.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think what you said also earlier makes a lot of sense. Like, the decentralized option has to be better than the counterpart, or else why would people even care, right? Like, I guess comparatively, if it's not market efficient, not cost effective, etc., if it's not the better option, then people can kind of care less. So it's good to hear kind of like you guys thinking about that from the long term perspective, and then also kind of setting that bar of standard, I should say, to get that reliability and consistency up, especially to the scale that you guys are kind of going about it as well too. I guess yeah, we're kind of like halfway in our Binance Square spaces here, but I guess kind of want to shift a little bit gears. Kind of, we're here on Binance Square, and kind of want to talk about Binance in general as well too. I guess the question I had is like, what does it mean to get, I guess, this opportunity to potentially get ATH listed on Binance, and how does that help or assist Aethir's upcoming roadmap as well too?
I mean, Binance is the biggest and the best exchange out there, right? It's the launch pad for global legitimacy and reach within the crypto world. And ATH is the native token of a global infrastructure network also. And we want access to the biggest global home of crypto, right, which is Binance. So I think there's a lot of synergy there. I'm incredibly excited by the opportunity to expose so many more people to what we're building at Aether. I think the Binance community as a whole will really love what we're doing, right? You come to Binance because you want access to the best projects, right? You want the safety and the security of a platform that's been around and been through a huge amount and has come out just on top every single time. And we want to show the Binance users out there that that's what we are, right? We're an absolute winner, right? We're here to be the biggest and best DPIN in the space. We're showing it monthly with our revenue numbers. We're demonstrating it with the quality of our network and the quality of company and customer that we have using our infrastructure. And I just think there's a lot that we can do to convince the Binance community that we're a pretty special project.
Yeah, and I think you already shared a lot. I mean, again, from what you say and what you kind of shared about before, this is one of the very few projects, again, both generating revenue and actually having real usage, I guess, applications from outside of just even Web3 as well too, right? Like it's going outside the Web3 bubble. It is obviously providing the decentralization and the Web3 infrastructure side to the Web2 side. So it's just kind of a bridge between kind of both what's happening in the real world and also kind of the future as well too, from the AI, gaming, and beyond as well too. Yeah, I guess like let's talk kind of community. I guess what's in it for Aethir supporter if ATH gets onto Binance and kind of beyond as well too.